because I was standing on the train platform, that gives you an excuse to touch me.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit is out there, we like to party. Listen up, yeah, it's time to start. Live the good life, the good life.
Hey lovelies, so I've decided to do, excuse me. Hey lovelies, so I have actually decided to do a series on my YouTube called Dating SOS. Me and my cousin was talking recently about just all of the scenarios I've been in, and she was in stitches and she's like, you really should tell your story. So I thought, okay, so she came up with the name Dating SOS, and I'm literally going to use this series to tell you guys about all of my experiences, good and bad. They're mostly bad, I'm just warning you now. I don't even have any wine. I wish I had wine for the first episode, if that's what we're calling it. It's going to be every Friday, so this is the first one. I wish I had wine. But today's talk, well, first of all, like, everyone always messages me and says, are you single? Are you married? Why are you single? How are you single? This is like, what do you want me to say? I've had terrible experiences when it comes to dating. Like, you actually could not write this shit up. I'm swearing. You actually, that's how bad it is. You actually could not write this shit up. Like, I'm going to start off light. And I'm going to start off with this story, mainly just because the person came back around and there was just like more controversy. And so it's fresh because this person really peed me off when they came back. Not even came back, they just came back for communication. They wanted to know what went wrong. And when I say, oh, okay, so let's just get into the story. What I will say though is this whole like series, whatever you want to call it, that's going to happen every Friday. There is going to be no sequence. I'm literally going to go back and forth 12 years and 2 years, and of course everyone's not going to have a real name because I'm not trying to shade anyone. I'm just trying to let you know my experiences and hopefully grow from them. So this particular experience, this was just a general date. This is nothing juicy. But I've been told that I am like very unwelcoming. Like, I like to protect my energy, and because I haven't had a good experience, it takes a lot for a guy to be able to grab my attention. However, this time I was literally on my way home from work. There's a gym right after work, so I was on my way back from the gym looking like a toe. A toe is the best way to describe. I don't look nice after the gym. And I was on my way on getting onto the train, and as I got onto the train, I saw this person, and it just walked past me. They looked straight back and they said, wow, you are beautiful. So I was like, oh, thank you. And then I just carried on walking. I told you I'm really bad. I actually get socially awkward. People think I'm very confident in terms of like all the self-love in the world, but I have serious social anxiety. So I carried on walking, and then long story short, we got on the train. He came and sat in front of me. We had a little bit of convo. I was like, okay, this is a cool vibe, you know, give this guy a chance. So we organised a first date, and there's me just trying not to be difficult, trying to be, I don't know, like sometimes people get the wrong end of the stick and they think that I'm being difficult when really I'm trying to protect myself. And it always comes from like females. So I will say, like, if your friends go through certain things, allow them to process and understand that their new reactions are from their experiences. It's not called hoarding, it's just a safety mechanism. So yeah, so they were actually having it was around Christmas time, they were having a shindig. They were having a Christmas party, and they said, oh, could you come to this bar? At the time, though, I didn't know it was a Christmas party. They just said, can you come to this bar in this location after work? And I was working in central London, so I was like, absolutely fine. So I've gone to the bar, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I waited for about 20 minutes, but I knew it was near the person's work, so I was like, okay, like, I've come to you by your workplace, and now I'm waiting, fine. And the bar was like completely empty. It's a place called, it's not even a bar, like the Slug and Lettuce. If you're in the UK, you know what the Slug and Lettuce is. It does like tapasy pieces and loads of cocktails, and it's really cheap. It's always 2 for 1. And the one that we went to, oh, I don't know where it was, but it had like these beautiful like birdcage settings with like flowers and stuff around it. So anyway, he comes in and then informs me that he actually was at a work party next door, and that's why he was late. So first of all, I'm like, oh, okay, so I've just been sitting here waiting for 20 minutes where you've been next door just drinking and partying. I've come to you. Okay, whatever. This guy was just talking about money, how it's a situationship he'd previously got in with a colleague. I'm very much a girl's girl, so if you're going to tell me that you led a girl to feel a certain way and then turn around and say to me, but it wasn't that though, like, I don't know why she lied to me, I'm not going to be in your corner. It's not going to happen. Not with Shay, because I'm going to be like, what did you do? Like, no girl blindly gets led on. But also, this is a conversation you're trying to have with me in a date, so like, on a first instance, this is not great. Anyway. So he started talking about money and how this person was materialistic and how this person was this and how she wanted him to buy drinks and he didn't have money to buy the drinks. The drinks were expensive. So now I'm feeling a certain type of way because I don't know, I don't like people thinking that I'm someone who is like with them for financial reasons or whatever the dress. So I get up because I'm like, I've had enough of this conversation about you talking about a situationship that you're with another girl, you talking about your finances. He's clearly nervous. You talking about what days you're going to stay at my house, and I've only known you for like a couple of hours. And your local barbers and how far your barbers is from my house. Like, you're just getting way too comfortable. Furthermore, you haven't even asked me a question yet. So I was like, okay, so I went and bought the drinks, drinking, a little bit more chilled, cool, whatever, it's time to go home. So as I'm waiting for the train, and bear in mind, I'm someone, before anyone says anything, I'm someone that can, not that it makes a difference actually, but I'm someone that can, like, I don't get drunk. It doesn't happen. Shay doesn't get drunk. I think I've only been drunk once in my entire life, and it was my 21st, and that's because I was backing shots like there was no tomorrow. But when it comes to like cocktails, you're not going to get me drunk because they're just filled with sugar. In fact, I'm known in my family for being the girl that has always got a bottle of wine, always got something. I'm not an alcoholic, guys, but I like a drink, and so I can handle myself. And so I was standing on the platform just looking to see what time my train was coming, and this guy starts rubbing on my lower back, hands on my waist, and just rubbing my lower back. And in this moment, I froze. Now, to some people, they're like, well, what's wrong with that? First of all, I don't know you. How are you going to be touching me so intimately after a 2-hour date? And you didn't ask me if I was okay with you, like, touching my bum, touching my lower back, no, nothing. And like I said, I have social anxiety. I very much should have said, get the fuck off of me. However, I also, like, I'm at a train station, next thing I know, I've pissed you off, the train's come in, and then you accidentally push me a little bit, and I'm dead because you decided to touch my bum. I'm not trying to do that. So I literally looked up, the train was coming down the track, so I kind of just, like, shuffled out the way. So hey guys, I'm literally just editing now, and I just wanted to highlight, because I feel like I'm really downplaying this touch. It wasn't a stroke on my back, you know, it was really so touchy-feely. Like, I would only expect like my boyfriend to be touching me that way, like squeezing on my hips, rubbing on my back, pushing on my lower back. And I have this thing that I call a bum back, where it's not, my back hasn't
started or finished, and it's just like deep in that curve between your bum and your back, like just pushing and feeling. And obviously it didn't last long because I moved away, but yeah, I just felt like I was downplaying it, so I just wanted to throw that in there.
And then I went to get onto the train, and he comes right up to the train. He's like, "Can I have a kiss? Can I have a kiss?" So I'm terrible. Like, well, that back then I was terrible, and I'm learning now to be better at setting my boundaries. Like I said, like most of the things I tell you about or the things I promote is like a self journey. And so I gave a kiss, and he's like, "Oh, can I have another one? Can I have another one?" And I was like, "Thank God," when the doors closed. At this point, I also kind of realized I was not ready to date. So like I said, this is here and now. Like, this is not like a juicy story. This is just a situation that made me feel very, very uncomfortable, and I decided I didn't want to see the person again. They asked me, like, "Oh, I'd love to see you again," and I said, to be honest, like, you were moving way too fast for my liking. It made me really uncomfortable, and so I've just decided that I'm just not in that place, and I don't think I'm going to be on the same like journey as you. From that experience, I've just decided I don't. Oh, there we go. Gross. From that experience, I've just decided I don't want to date. That was my excuse. I was like, I did the whole "it's not me, it's you" type thing. So a few years have passed, and this guy every now and then will like comment on like a pretty picture that I put up or something like that on my WhatsApp status. This time, sorry guys, I got like air. This time he said, "Oh, like I said, you guys know I got my social anxiety. If someone comes up to me and is like, 'I think you're so beautiful,' and they constantly do it, I get so uncomfortable, like I start looking away." So he was just like, "Oh, I just wanted to let you know you're looking great in quarantine. I know you don't like in my experience, just because somebody compliments you, it doesn't mean they value you." And I actually saw that somewhere, and it's funny because I said the exact same thing to him just before it popped up on Twitter. So I don't know if my phone is spying on me, but yeah. And if you follow me on Twitter, you would have seen that I retweeted that. So he was like, "Oh, well, just for like myself, is that the reason why you didn't like me?" And I was a bit like, well, first of all, I'd already given the reason. Like, I actually had already told him he was too forward. But this time, I was just like, I've had my growth, I'm just going to say my truth. And I said, to be honest, you made me feel extremely uncomfortable. I just said, you made me feel extremely uncomfortable on the day. You didn't make sure that you checked my boundaries. And sorry, I'm not really sure how much I like this camera, it just shuts off. He said that, "Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have touched you like that, but there's no way I would have touched your bum or touched you intimately unless you put it out there." Excuse me? That's not an apology. Like, so because I was standing on the train platform, that gives you an excuse to touch me. And furthermore, I've already explained that I had anxiety. So for you now to come to me and say, "Oh, can I have like a reason why you don't want to date me?" And then when I tell you, you want to gaslight me and tell me, "Oh, well, I wouldn't have done this if you hadn't put it out there, and I wouldn't have kissed you if you didn't try to kiss me first." Sir, I don't know what you're talking about. You asked for a kiss. I didn't try to kiss you. So there's nothing about me putting it first. Like, what happened to owning, like, if a woman tells you that, or if anyone tells you that you have made them feel uncomfortable, it is not your right to put any onus on them. Just acknowledge that you have made someone feel extremely uncomfortable, and say sorry, and that's it. But for you to then tell me you put it out there, put what, sir? What did I put out there? My 2 legs on the train platform, my 2 tiny little legs on the train platform. And my problem was, I have actually been too polite and too kind to you for all these flipping years, and now you feel entitled. You feel entitled to be able to touch me. And I think one of the things that he was talking about was, and the reason what triggered him, is when I said the comment about beauty and people valuing you, he was like, "Oh, does that mean you've been in some toxic relationships? And I said, well, most of my relationships with men are toxic. No shade. And you'll find out from this dating series why. And he turned around and said to me, well, maybe you're choosing the wrong way. I was like, no, it's got nothing to do with who I choose. I have been with people that have, I said, it's about people being honest and not being honest about who they are, because a lot of people aren't honest about who they are because they want something from you. And I've had so many experiences where someone's pretended. In fact, one of my most recent experiences, which we can talk about on the next one, is I dated someone for 4 months, and this person was, I felt like God's gift. Like, I had affirmations every morning, I had breakfast in bed, I had you staying over 3 days a week, and then I find out that he got a girlfriend. And let's not even go into detail. My point was, people lie. And there was so much drama that came from that situation. But people lie. And they tell you what you want to hear to get what they want to get. So, and that has been my experience a lot. And it's got nothing to do with my Instagram, because most of the people that I date don't even see my Instagram. So this is just an onus of me being me. And so I was like, no, it's got absolutely nothing to do with that. It's about people not being honest with who they are. And then he was like, oh, well, if you gave me a chance, if you gave me a chance, I could prove them wrong. And I said, well, to be honest, you already made me feel uncomfortable. And that's how that conversation unraveled, because then it was like, well, to be honest, I wouldn't have done it if you didn't put it out there, and I think I should have been given a second chance. There's a lot of eyes, a lot of entitlement. You're actually reminding me of the whole date being about you, about your finances, about you wanting to be in my house and organising where your Barbers was next door and how long it was going to take you to get there, about you talking about a situationship, about a girl that helped you escalate in work, that when you got to where you wanted to be, you didn't understand why she liked you, or you didn't understand after you had late night dinners, late night talks, went over to her house, you didn't understand why she thought you liked her. There's something wrong with you, and you're so actually sick. Alright, gaslighting, disgusting. So look, my hair's gone all crazy because I've gone with the hands, so I don't think I have nails though. And I was like, no, you're just rude. So, anyway, on this story, the point of this story is, for one, that was one of my dating experiences, so hey, welcome to Shay's world. And two, don't touch anyone without their permission. And you haven't got to be like, excuse me, can I touch you? But you definitely don't touch anyone in any intimate way unless they have allowed you, not even allowed you to, sorry, unless they have said to you that they are okay with it. There are so many instances as a female where you get struck by anxiety because you don't know how a man is going to behave, and it's scary. It's so scary, and people don't understand it. And they're like, oh, well, you didn't say no. I didn't say yes. I didn't say touch me. And in fact, that's one of the things he said. You didn't say no. I didn't say yes either. I didn't say you could touch me. In fact, I moved out of the way. Who starts touching someone's lower body and you don't know them? As a female, that's like, it was. And then I have to worry about your temperament. So I've got to think about how I behave next, because I don't know you. I don't know what you're going to do. And like I said, for all I know, I could turn around and say, don't touch me, please. You get offended because you feel like you're entitled to touch me. All of a sudden, there's a little nudge and I've been hit by a train. And that is how the brain goes. Like, please take note on this. Like, it's a serious one. Like, a little bit of fun, a little bit of that. But take note. Like, don't touch someone. Understand boundaries when people like set them, or just understand that people have boundaries, like full stop. Maybe try and hold a girl's hand and see if she lets you do that, and if she doesn't, then get off. But that's it. Like, don't try to start, like, for me, I don't know about other women, but when someone touches me and I feel like I can't explain it, like I froze. I completely froze. I understand now how to vocalize when I'm setting my boundaries. That, to be honest, if anyone ever touches me like that again, and I barely know you, I'm going to tell you, get off me. Like, please don't do that. makes me extremely uncomfortable, because I actually get worried about making other people uncomfortable, so I constantly make myself uncomfortable in the process. But yeah, so that is one dating experience I've had. I wanted to talk about it because they literally just got back in touch with me. Like, this whole conversation happened like less than 48 hours ago, and I'm still reeling from it, because it's just not a nice feeling. Like, you could let it go. Like, why reach out to me to ask me something and then not respect my response? So when you're reaching out to people, be prepared to hear whatever they have to say, or don't reach out. It's really that simple. But anyway, guys, that is the end of this Dating SOS episode. It's like a little series. Episode 1. I will be every Friday. Next one will be a little bit more juicy. I'll have some wine. We can have, like, girl, say what? Did that really happen? Because I have some stories. I've got, let's not spoil it, but we got exes in prison, we got baby mama drama, we got side girl didn't know situationships. I got the whole shebang. So anyway, Sunday, you already know that Sundays are fashion hauls, so I will see you then. And then Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, I'm here. But anyway, take care, speak love and light into each other, okay? And remember, if a girl doesn't say yes, she just shouldn't have to worry about telling you no. Alright? Bye.
I still wanna party with